Cheers for Fears. I mean, are you Cheers for Fears, or...?
Well, I'm me, you know, Tears for Fears is just a name, but I've always been the writer, and I've written 90% of the material in the past. I've sang sort of 80% of it, and when it came to Seeds of Love, I took over as producer as well.
Right.
You know, so this is kind of like the natural progression.
Because the album, the new album, Elemental, I mean, it sounds like a proper Tears for Fears album. I mean, to tell you the truth, I don't really miss Kurt.
Well, it's not for me to comment, you know.
No, okay. You're being a nice guy. You won't say nasty things about him. That's quite good. Now, about the album, did it take a long time to do it? What kind of people did you work with?
Well, it was a very pleasurable experience. Of all the albums, this was by far the easiest to make. I co-wrote most of it with a guy called Alan Griffiths, who's an old friend from Bristol. He's a musician, a multi-instrumentalist. He played with our band in 1985. There's another guy who was involved in the making of the record, a guy called Tim Palmer, who's an engineer and a co-producer. Recorded it at my home studio, Neptune's Kitchen.
Yeah, we're going to see that later on.
We played a lot of table tennis, and we had some good meals.
A lot of table tennis.
A lot of table tennis. Okay,
one more before we go into the next video. Do you want to rule the world?
No.
You don't?
No.
So why do you think everybody wants to rule the world? I mean, I do, but...
You do?
I do, I'd love to.
You're not a Leo, are you?
No, I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Well, I think it was just, at the time, there were a lot of concerns, 1985. The Cold War was still an issue between Russia and America, and there were a lot of songs emerging about war and that kind of stuff, and this was pretty much going on with that theme.
Oh, I didn't know it was about that. Anyway, we're going to have a look at that now, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I don't mind.
You can see Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Oh, that song, I love it a bit. Now, on the album, you started to work with the woman who was, back then, a new talent, and now she's made it pretty big herself.
That's right.
Lisa Adams. And is it true that you met her in a hotel bar?
Yeah, certainly did. We were on tour in 1985, promoting songs for the Big Chair. We just played Kansas City, and went back to the hotel, showered, and met up in the bar. This time you had to pay $1.50 to get in because there was a woman called Lisa Adams playing. And it was just incredible. She had her own small audience there, come specifically to hear her. And it was a revelation. I mean, I felt that this woman should be huge, and it didn't make sense. There we were, #1 in America, and there was this woman with a phenomenal talent just singing in a bar. So I did my best to help her. I wrote Woman in Chains. She sang a duet with me on it. I produced her first album, and it was a worldwide hit.
Yeah, you said when you met her, that was at the time you were touring. You've done a lot of touring.
Yeah.
I mean, do you actually like it? I mean, does that bring back good memories, or is it like, oh, struggle, here we go again?
Well, sometimes touring is really difficult because if the weather's bad, you know, and it just feels uncomfortable and just like hard work. But when you tour, I mean, for a start, it gets you out of the house and forces you into some quite bizarre situations with people you would never meet in your immediate environment. So the whole thing, you come away a much wiser and more mature animal.
More mature, much wiser. I think that's what I should do then. I need to become a bit more mature and wiser. Anyway, we're going to have a look at it now.
Okay.
Sowing the Seeds of Love. Prachtige video. Wel gezegd. Prachtige video, hè? Sowing the Seeds of Love. But enough about the past now. I mean, let's talk about the future. Your brand new single, Break It Down Again. Break what down again? What exactly is it about?
Well, it's about the fact that I think a lot of people find change very difficult to cope with. I mean, I think we all try and keep hold of what we've got and maintain some kind of continuity in our lives. But occasionally something comes along which is a bit like a crisis, and it's quite often healthy. So I find in my life that when things like that happen, that out of the ashes the phoenix rises and the new situation is a lot more healthy. So it's about accepting that there is a kind of beauty in decay.
Right.
There you go.
That sounds pretty interesting. Well, before we go, no, seriously, I do like your story. Before we go into the next video, we're going to have a quick look at a little film. Can you explain to viewers what this is?
Well, this was shot in my home studio, Neptune's Kitchen, earlier on in the year, and it gives everybody a taste of the atmosphere in which the record was made.